Cleveland Cavaliers versus Brooklyn Nets. Two Eastern Conference teams searching for their first win of the season collide as the Cleveland Cavaliers visit the Brooklyn Nets at Barclays Center. Both squads enter 0-1, eager to establish momentum after opening night losses that highlighted lingering issues from last season. Cleveland, slotted 11th in the East, continues its evolution as a defensive-minded team led by Donovan Mitchell, while Brooklyn, 13th in the conference, aims to rediscover its offensive rhythm in a new era defined by youth and depth. Though it's early in the 2025-26 campaign, this matchup carries weight for two franchises hoping to avoid falling behind in tightly packed divisions. The storyline centers on contrast: Cleveland's structured defense-first system versus Brooklyn's perimeter-heavy offense. Analytics tilt the odds heavily toward the Cavaliers, who hold a commanding 79.9% win probability, but both sides face lineup uncertainty due to key injuries. Cleveland will monitor forward DeAndre Hunter, game-time decision, ankle, while guards Darius Garland, knee, and Max Strus, hamstring, are sidelined through November and December, respectively. Brooklyn faces its own attrition with rookie guard Drake Powell, ankle, forward Danny Wolf, back, and versatile wing Haywood Highsmith, knee, all unavailable. These absences put pressure on depth pieces and emerging scorers to carry the load. Cleveland's offensive engine runs through Mitchell, who averaged 27.4 points last season and remains one of the NBA's elite isolation scorers. His ability to create off the dribble will test Brooklyn's perimeter defense, which allowed 117 points in its season opener. Behind him, Evan Mobley anchors the front court with 16 points and 10 rebounds per game, giving Cleveland an interior advantage against a smaller Nets rotation. The Cavaliers' ball movement, 21 assists per game, and efficient shooting, 48.5% FG, underscore their commitment to spacing and mid-range precision. For Brooklyn, offense flows through Mikal Bridges and Cam Thomas, the latter coming off a breakout year where he averaged over 20 points. The Nets put up 117 in their opener, despite shooting only 44.3% from the field, indicating they can generate volume but not consistency. Point guard Ben Simmons remains the ultimate wild card. If he orchestrates the offense effectively and attacks the rim, Brooklyn could exploit Cleveland's backcourt injuries. However, the Nets' rebounding and rim protection, just 3 blocks per game, remain concerns, particularly against a Cavs team that thrives on second-chance opportunities. Recent form tells a nuanced story. Cleveland dropped its opener to the Knicks 119-118, a narrow loss decided by late-game execution. The Cavaliers have been competitive in recent weeks, showing improved offensive flow despite inconsistent bench scoring. Brooklyn, meanwhile, lost 136-117 to Charlotte in its debut, exposing defensive lapses and a lack of cohesion. Their preseason ended with back-to-back losses to Toronto and Phoenix, emphasizing that the team is still finding its rhythm under coach Jordi Fernandez. In the standings, the Cavaliers sit at the bottom of the Central Division alongside Indiana, while Brooklyn occupies last in the Atlantic. Though it's far too early to panic, early season wins can define mid-season confidence, particularly in the East, where playoff positioning is often decided by 2 or 3 games. Both franchises are playoff hopefuls, not rebuilders, but health and chemistry will dictate whether they remain contenders or slide toward the play-in range by spring. Depth and health loom as deciding factors. Cleveland's injury list removes key playmakers, but their defensive structure and veteran leadership give them stability. Brooklyn's bench remains a question mark, relying heavily on young contributors like Noah Clowney and rookie Jalen Wilson to supplement scoring. If the Nets' shooters find rhythm from deep, they could offset their interior disadvantage. Conversely, if Mobley and Jarrett Allen control the paint, Cleveland can dictate pace and tempo. The X factors revolve around tempo and perimeter defense. Can the Cavaliers limit Brooklyn's transition chances without Garland's steadying hand? Will the Nets generate enough stops to contain Mitchell and Mobley in the half-court? Turnovers, particularly from Simmons, could swing the game. Expect Cleveland's defensive communication and rebounding edge to be decisive in crunch time. Prediction: Cleveland's defense and star talent should overcome an undermanned Brooklyn squad still adjusting to lineup changes. Expect a controlled win, 116-108, powered by Mitchell's scoring and Mobley's interior presence, as the Cavaliers claim their first victory while Brooklyn struggles to find consistency. After analyzing both teams, my pick for this match is Cleveland Cavaliers winner. Drop your thoughts and predictions in the comments box. Miami Heat versus Memphis Grizzlies. The new NBA season is barely underway, yet the Miami Heat and Memphis Grizzlies collide in what already feels like a tone-setting matchup at the FedEx Forum. Miami enters at 0-1 after a rocky opener, while Memphis stands at 1-0 and aims to defend home court once again. The Heat sit near the bottom of the early Southeast Division standings after a narrow loss, while the Grizzlies are trying to seize momentum in the competitive Southwest race. This game brings together two franchises built differently: Miami's disciplined system seeking identity amid injuries, and Memphis's explosive young core hungry to make a statement in the Western Conference. This game is defined by backcourt narratives. Miami is without two of its primary guards, Terry Rozier and Tyler Herro, both out with injuries, leaving the offensive workload to secondary creators. Meanwhile, Memphis enjoys the return of its star floor general Ja Morant, who is listed as questionable but expected to play after being marked day-to-day. The Grizzlies' depth and athleticism contrast Miami's more deliberate half-court attack. With both teams still adjusting to rotations, control of pace and shot selection will define the outcome. Replacing the baseball-styled pitching matchup concept, the backcourt duel serves as the strategic centerpiece here. For Miami, sophomore guard Jamal Cain and veteran facilitator orchestrate the offense, but face an aggressive defensive test from Marcus Smart-style perimeter pressure provided by Memphis wings like Vince Williams Jr. and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, who is listed as game-time decision but expected to suit up. Morant, who averaged around 26 points and 8 assists last season before injuries, fuels Memphis's fast break engine. If he plays, his burst into the lane will challenge Miami's interior defenders, forcing constant help rotations. Miami will lean heavily on its defensive scheme to slow dribble penetration, but without Herro's spacing and Rozier's creation, the Heat may struggle to trade baskets. Offensively, the Heat still showed flashes despite their 125-121 loss to Orlando earlier this week, putting up 121 points on 48.4% shooting and 37% from three as a team. Miami's early season scoring leader looks to be Bam Adebayo, who continues to expand his mid-post facilitation game. Jaime Jaquez Jr. brings toughness and slashing, while rookie contributors add energy. Still, Miami must rely on disciplined shot creation without its top two perimeter scorers. For Memphis, their last five show encouraging offensive balance. A 128-122 win over New Orleans showcased their 51% field goal shooting and 39% from deep, highlighting improved chemistry. Desmond Bane remains a lethal shooter on the wing, and big man Jaren Jackson Jr. provides rim protection while stretching defenses with his perimeter touch. With 20.9 rebounds and 20.2 assists per game as a team, Memphis is dangerous in transition and second-chance situations. Momentum favors the Grizzlies. They ended the preseason sharp and carried that rhythm into their opener. Memphis is 1-0 at home and historically feeds off crowd energy in the FedEx Forum, where fans' intensity often fuels late-game surges. Miami has now dropped 2 straight dating back to preseason and sits at 0-1 on the road. The Heat have shown effort, but lack late-game closing structure without Herro's scoring burst, making them vulnerable in tight situations. The injury report makes matters worse. Miami is missing Kasparas Jakučionis until late October, Rozier until December, and Herro until mid-November, severely limiting rotation depth. Memphis, though dealing with a few absences of its own, Vince Williams Jr. out until October 25th, and Ty Jerome sidelined, retains more active firepower, giving them a clear edge in bench contributions and overall versatility. With early season standings still tight, this matchup carries hidden weight. Memphis can climb to the top of the Southwest Division with another win, keeping pace with San Antonio and establishing early season momentum. Miami risks falling behind Orlando and Charlotte in a Southeast race where slow starts can haunt playoff hopes and put pressure on the back half of their schedule. The X factors will be Memphis winning the rebounding battle, Miami controlling turnovers, and whether Adebayo can dominate offensively without foul trouble. If Morant plays, expect Memphis to crank up tempo, push in transition, and impose its will on both ends, forcing Miami into uncomfortable possessions and testing their defensive rotations. Prediction: Memphis 124, Miami 114. The Grizzlies' depth, shot creation, and home court confidence overpower a short-handed Heat squad searching for rhythm. Miami competes, but Memphis's athleticism and offensive versatility will be the difference. After analyzing both teams, my pick for this match is Memphis Grizzlies winner. Drop your thoughts and predictions in the comments box. Minnesota Timberwolves versus Los Angeles Lakers. The Minnesota Timberwolves travel to Los Angeles to face the Lakers in a Western Conference showdown that already carries early season intrigue. The Timberwolves enter the contest 1-0, riding high after a thrilling 118-114 win over Portland, while the Lakers sit at 1-0-1, reeling from a narrow 119-109 loss to Golden State. It's a matchup of contrasting trajectories. Minnesota, young and cohesive, looks to build on last season's playoff momentum, while Los Angeles is searching for identity amid injuries and roster uncertainty. The Timberwolves, sitting third in the Western Conference standings, have a chance to seize early control of the Northwest Division, while the Lakers, 12th in the West, hope to avoid a 0-2 start at home. Minnesota's balance and depth have stood out early. The Timberwolves put up 118 points in their opener while shooting nearly 49% from the field, displaying a versatile attack anchored by Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns. They averaged 25 assists and 10 steals, indicating improved ball movement and defensive aggression. Meanwhile, the Lakers' 54.5% field goal shooting in their opener wasn't enough to overcome turnovers and defensive lapses. Los Angeles managed just 23 assists to Minnesota's 25, and their inability to control the glass, despite 39 rebounds, proved costly. Offensively, the Timberwolves appear poised to continue their efficient scoring run. Edwards' perimeter explosiveness, coupled with Towns' inside-out versatility, gives Minnesota one of the league's most balanced 1-2 punches. The Wolves have topped 120 points in 2 of their last 5 outings, including preseason, signaling their scoring rhythm is in mid-season form. Complementary pieces like Mike Conley and Jaden McDaniels add stability, while Rudy Gobert's rebounding presence remains critical against Los Angeles's front court. For the Lakers, the absence of LeBron James looms large. The veteran forward, sidelined until mid-November, leaves a massive leadership void. Maxi Kleber, out until November 5th, and Adu Tiero, out until October 31st, also weaken the Lakers' depth in the front court, putting additional pressure on Anthony Davis to carry both scoring and defensive duties. Davis will likely face Gobert, creating one of the game's most compelling matchups, Davis' finesse and mid-range game versus Gobert's physical rim protection. D'Angelo Russell and Austin Reeves will need to elevate their playmaking, especially in transition, to offset the absence of veteran direction. In terms of form, Minnesota's preseason momentum has carried over. They've won 4 of their last 5, including victories over Portland, Guangzhou, and New York. Their lone loss came in a 126-120 duel with Philadelphia, where their defensive lapses in the fourth quarter proved costly. The Lakers, on the other hand, have struggled through inconsistency, dropping 4 of their last 5 dating back to the preseason. Their lone victory, a 126-116 win over Golden State, showcased flashes of their offensive potential but highlighted defensive concerns that remain unresolved. Standing-wise, the Timberwolves are tied atop the Northwest Division alongside Oklahoma City and Utah at 1-0, while the Lakers occupy the basement of the Pacific Division. Though it's early, every divisional matchup matters, especially in a loaded Western Conference where playoff seeding often comes down to tiebreakers. Minnesota's ability to establish dominance in road games could be crucial come April, while Los Angeles must protect home court to stay competitive until LeBron's return. Depth and injuries could dictate the game's tone. Minnesota boasts a clean injury report, allowing coach Chris Finch to deploy his full rotation, while Lakers coach Darvin Ham faces tough minutes management. The Lakers will rely on Davis and Reeves early, with Wood providing bench scoring. Minnesota's bench, Reed, Alexander Walker, and Anderson, offers greater versatility and consistency, potentially giving the Wolves an edge late. The X factors lie in execution. For Minnesota, it's Edwards' shot selection and Gobert's ability to neutralize Davis in the paint. For Los Angeles, it's Russell's playmaking and whether Reeves can step up as a reliable secondary scorer. Rebounding will likely decide the outcome, Minnesota's physicality versus Los Angeles' depleted frontcourt depth. Analytics give the Lakers a narrow 50.3% edge over Minnesota, mostly due to home court advantage, but the Timberwolves' health and cohesion suggest they may have the slight upper hand. Expect a fast, competitive game. Prediction: Timberwolves 115, Lakers 108. Minnesota's depth and defense, led by Edwards, overcome Los Angeles, which struggles offensively without LeBron. The Wolves improve to 2-0. After analyzing both teams, my pick for this match is Minnesota Timberwolves winner. Drop your thoughts and predictions in the comments box. Phoenix Suns versus Los Angeles Clippers. The Phoenix Suns and Los Angeles Clippers square off in a pivotal early-season Western Conference clash at Intuit Dome on October 24, 2025. The Suns arrive at 1-0 and sit 6th in the West after opening with an impressive win over Sacramento, while the Clippers, at 0-1, are seeking redemption following a rough loss to Utah. Early though it may be, this matchup sets the tone for two teams at opposite ends of the momentum spectrum: Phoenix, eyeing contention, and Los Angeles, attempting to steady its footing under pressure at home. Despite the Suns' strong start, the analytics lean heavily toward the Clippers, who hold a 71.5% win probability, underscoring how tightly matched and unpredictable this contest could become. Phoenix enters this game looking balanced and sharp on both ends of the floor, averaging 120 points per contest on 47.4% shooting while holding opponents to a manageable clip defensively. The Clippers, conversely, struggled in their opener, scoring 108 points on 44.3% shooting and failing to maintain consistency beyond the arc. The contrast lies in energy and cohesion. Phoenix's pace and ball movement have looked fluid, while Los Angeles must find offensive rhythm behind its core stars. The Suns' early offensive surge has been anchored by efficient inside-out play, while the Clippers' challenge lies in defensive communication and perimeter containment. Offensively, the Suns are powered by a collective approach. Devin Booker has led with poise and efficiency, operating as both scorer and facilitator, while Kevin Durant remains the matchup nightmare every opponent dreads. Phoenix's ability to generate assists, a team average of 28.0, demonstrates their ball-sharing philosophy. Los Angeles counters with their star wings, but after a quiet start, The Clippers' offense will need a bounce back from players like Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. Their shooting efficiency dipped against Utah, and their bench production will be crucial to avoid another offensive drought. Recent form clearly favors Phoenix. The Suns have won 4 of their last 5, including tight victories over Brooklyn, 127-122 in overtime, and the Lakers, 114-103, reflecting resilience and clutch scoring. Their lone blemish came in preseason play, but their chemistry appears mid-season ready. The Clippers, meanwhile, have dropped 3 of their last 5, including losses to Denver, 104-92, and Utah, 129-108. They've shown flashes of brilliance, particularly in preseason wins against Golden State and Sacramento, but inconsistency has plagued their rhythm. Defensively, they've allowed an average of 114 points across that span, an area they must clean up to contain Phoenix's firepower. Injuries add an intriguing subplot. The Suns will be without guard Jalen Green, sidelined until October 27th, a blow to their backcourt depth and pace. The Clippers are missing guard Jordan Miller until October 26th, but their veteran-heavy rotation mitigates the loss. These absences test each team's depth. Phoenix leans on Grayson Allen and Eric Gordon for spacing, while Los Angeles could tap into rookie minutes or adjust rotations to stabilize perimeter defense. Depth execution will likely determine fourth-quarter control. In the standings, Phoenix sits tied for second in the Pacific Division behind Golden State, 2-0, while the Clippers are already looking up from the bottom at 0-1. With division margins razor-thin, this early duel carries playoff implications even in October. The Suns' focus will be on maintaining pace with the Warriors, while the Clippers aim to avoid a 0-2 start that could invite early scrutiny and internal pressure. X factors loom large. Rebounding intensity, transition defense, and perimeter shooting could tilt momentum. Phoenix's DeAndre Ayton's ability to control the glass will be pivotal against Ivica Zubac and the Clippers' front line. On the perimeter, the Suns' shooters must stay hot to exploit LA's defensive rotations. Conversely, if the Clippers' stars lock in defensively and push tempo, they could swing the balance on their home court. Prediction: despite the odds favoring Los Angeles, Phoenix's early cohesion, offensive rhythm, and ability to close games give them the edge. Expect the Suns to ride their momentum to a 118-111 victory, driven by a balanced attack and late-game execution from Booker and Durant, who can create opportunities both for themselves and their teammates. The Clippers' fight should keep it close, with Kawhi Leonard and Paul George providing flashes of scoring and defensive intensity. But until their defense tightens and their offense finds fluidity, Phoenix remains the more complete team, capable of controlling tempo, exploiting mismatches, and finishing possessions efficiently in crunch time. After analyzing both teams, my pick for this match is Phoenix Suns winner. Drop your thoughts and predictions in the comments box.